Greetings. Check one, check two. Coming in loud and clear. Yeah, coming in loud and clear. It's your boy, Cypher the MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. Back with you once again. Another week. I know it's been a couple of days. I'm sure you were probably looking for the podcast on the Sunday that's just passed. That's why you got to stay tuned. You got to keep a beat. You got to know what's going on. Now uploading on Wednesdays. Thank you for tuning in. DJ is on point. Steph Curry.
Yep.
Another week. And by the looks of the title, you're probably like, what is he talking about today? Well, you know what? Before we get into anything, you know we got to get our disclaimers and all that sort of stuff out of the way. Before we get into the meat and potatoes. The meat, the potatoes, the sides, and all that sort of stuff. But if you're new to the podcast, greatly thank you for stopping by. All that good stuff. Because you could have been anywhere in the world. You probably are. But you're here with me. And I appreciate that. Definitely. Shout out to Jay-Z. But we're about to get into our disclaimers. I'm not a psychiatrist or relationship expert, or even a psychologist. I'm not a sex therapist or family therapist or anything of the sort. I don't have any doctorates or masters on my walls from Harvard. I know I switch it up every week. I am just a regular, say it with me now, Joe Schmo. Ooh, just a regular guy giving you the benefit of his experience, but also as an observer of human nature on this journey that we call life. And I say we because I'm on this journey with you as we try to become the best version of ourselves. All right, boom, back, there it is. Boom, back, there it is. So today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience is bugging. Sorry, that's for the old school heads. So today's topic, it's been a more than a rough week for your boy, because for the most part, you know, getting used to a new schedule as far as trying to upload on Wednesdays now versus Sundays. Also, things behind the scenes as far as trying to not only build but create, you know, different businesses and things that I want to do, that I have on my heart to do, that I feel that I'm here to do. It's been an uphill challenge. Anything that you're doing uphill is going to be a challenge.
There's facts, man.
Now, of course, every challenge is going to have some degree of difficulty. So let's get that out the way. Let's not be naive and think that, oh my gosh, why isn't everything easy for me? Why isn't everything handed to me? Why isn't everything, just laid out for me on a silver platter? For people who think like that, they're normally the ones that you have to, that you sit there and you look at like, what? You didn't think that you were going to encounter any difficulty or obstacles or anything like that. And I, for the most part, I know that I will always encounter something because I'm the chosen one.
Bruh.
I'm just kidding. But I know that anything that is worth doing is always going to present its own challenge in some shape, form, or fashion, especially when you're trying to do multiple things at a time.
Yep.
Because it's to me, it's like a puzzle. Everything is going to fit. Everything is going to, you know, come together when you get one piece down, and then you move to the next piece, and now you're sitting there looking like, okay, where's this other piece? And sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it can be frustrating. And as I said, I'm not preaching from a soapbox. I'm not telling you anything that, you know, you should do this, you should do that, and that I've reached this level of you know, nirvana. and that I have it all figured out. I'm still trying to figure it out. And the thing that keeps me motivated is knowing that at the end of this journey, it's going to be worth it. But of course, the journey can be hard. The journey can be difficult. The journey can be challenging. And these are what I call those valley moments. Like, what do you do when you have those valley moments? You know, those biblical moments where you're just almost at a low point and you're like, I don't feel like going to work today. I don't want to go to work today. I don't feel like going to school. I don't feel like going to this person's house and smiling in their face. I just want to crawl up under my bed covers one more time and just lay there and let the world pass me by today. Maybe tomorrow I'll feel better. We all have those valley moments. I have them more than you think. I try to be as motivating and as uplifting and as encouraging as possible. Not because I feel that I have to be, but that's just part of who I am. But I'm also human. I'm also human to the point where I have those moments like, why, dude? Why? Why can't, people function in their system in their ways of doing things? Like we're part of, each one of us, we think that we are a planet to ourselves, but we're functioning as part of a solar system. So you have to rotate and revolve your way. I have to rotate and revolve my way. Sometimes we clash. Sometimes I have to wait for you to rotate and revolve so I can continue my rotation and revolution. And that's one of the things I really don't like. I really don't like waiting on people that I feel should be able to kind of rotate themselves. It's kind of like you have to kind of spin them in order for them to move so you can continue your journey, your progress. Anyone else feel like that? I mean, it's very easy. It's very, very easy to, tell someone that they can do it. Hey, you can do it. But when you start to feel that you're doing it for them and they're letting you, it's kind of like, wait a minute. I'm helping you in your journey, but I'm stagnating my own. And it can kind of get a bit frustrating. It's like, what do you do when you're aggravated, or demotivated? You feel stagnated. You feel deflated. Anything with aided in it. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like almost an insurmountable task that now you have to conquer. Not only what you have to conquer, but you have to conquer your mind where you are right now. From a mental perspective, you have to conquer your own mind. And it's kind of like, wow, that the mind is so powerful. Everything begins with a thought. Let's keep that in mind. The device that you're listening to this on, the screen that you're watching this on YouTube itself, everything began with a thought. Someone thought, hey, let's do this. Let's automate this. Oh, let's create this. Let's do this. Everything started with a thought. And the mind is so powerful, it can kind of confuse us. For my old hip-hop heads out there, there's a verse from a song, mind tricks the body, body thinks the mind is crazy. I believe it's How Many MCs Can Get This. How Many MCs by the Boot Click. Go check it out. That's one of my favorite songs. But it's so true. Mind tricks the body, body thinks the mind is crazy, because your mind can tell you, okay, you're tired, you're don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you want to this, that, and the third. It can present these negative images to you based off of what's going on around you. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help the fact that, you are trying to start a business, but those the people that will say that they were going to be there for you and down for you and I got your back, they're nowhere to be found. You feel lack of support. But now that you've started, you really don't want to stop. You can't stop. It's too early to stop. But now you're frustrated. Like, where were you? What? Okay, so what do I do now? Okay, what do I need to do now? Because now you're in a mindset, well, looks like you got to do it by yourself. So what do you do in those valley moments? I myself, to be perfectly honest, I have a talk with the Creator. You may call it complaining. If you were to hear me, you'd be like, oh my gosh, he is complaining so much. And it's true. I complain a lot. I feel I have a right to complain. I'm at an age where my expectations for myself are very high, and if I feel that you're at a capable point, your expectations for yourself should be high. Are you someone that is ready to strike out on their own and get their first apartment? You and your roommates are all ready and set to go to live the good life and pretty much get your life started? Or are you about to leave college and looking for a new place to live in a new city with your new degree? Well, guess what? There's a company called Credit Rent Boost that will allow you to get credit for the rent that you pay and get it reported to the credit bureaus. This will not only allow you to boost your credit, but also set you up long term so when you are ready to make your first purchase as a homeowner. So give them a try. CreditRentBoost.com, and you can use promotion code OVM24522. It may be the best decision you ever made. And that's what I do. Make sure my volume is up. That's what I do. I pretty much, it's a half prayer, half complaining, half asking for directions session. You know, I have to ask God, like, what do I do? Like, oh my gosh, I lay it out. At the end of it, I feel better because I'm getting it off my chest. And sometimes when you talk things out, you kind of guide yourself in a certain direction. You say, okay, all right, I got it all out. Now, what do I need to do? Rather than just holding it in, because most of us, we don't have someone that we can avidly go to consistently and complain about things to. Because then we don't want to feel like we're complaining, even though that we are. We don't want to feel that way. We don't want to feel like we're burdening someone with our trials and troubles, because everyone is going through something. Everyone has those valley moments. Everyone has peaks, but it seems like the valley moments are you're closer to those. Like anything can turn into a valley moment. You getting into a car accident on your way to work. Slight bumper, little fender bender on your way to work. You already had multiple things to do today, but guess what? Now you're going to be delayed in getting started on those things because now you got to deal with exchanging information, how you feel about the accident, physically, mentally, psychologically, all those things. Now you're late to work, and now you're trying to get things done, and you're trying to squeeze things that would normally take 30 minutes into 15 so you can get to the next task that's also going to take 45 minutes.
That's true.
You're going to try to squeeze that into 30. And don't forget the emergency meeting that comes up, and that's going to take an hour. Right? It's those valley moments are closer to us. Ooh. They're closer to us versus those peaks. Those peak moments, oftentimes it's something external, that happens, and then it's like, oh, we get a few moments of elation. We get a few moments of, yay, that is awesome. That is awesome. That is great. We get a few moments of those. We get a few moments. Have you ever thought of possibly starting your own podcast? Well, I can tell you firsthand it can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to get started, and that's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch a professional podcast, already helping over 100,000 people launch their own podcasts. Buzzsprout will get your podcast into every major podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. You also will get a great-looking podcasting website and so much more. To start your own podcast and get a $20 Amazon gift card, follow the link in the show notes. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you and helps support our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start a podcast. And I wanted to just say that because I have those moments more often than I may share, more often than you may see, more often than you may hear. I have those moments where I'm like, how am I supposed to get this done? I'm sure Noah was asking, how am I supposed to build an ark? How am I supposed to get animals 2 by 2 on this thing? How am I supposed to, not worry about everyone else laughing at me while I'm building a big boat? I'm not even close to water, but I'm building a big boat. I'm not saying that our lives are comparable with any of the biblical figures that we've come across and read about in the Word, but let's face it. These were just regular people like us. They didn't come from some angelic bloodline or some sort of, have any type of titles or anything like that. They were regular Joe Schmoes. But because of their circumstances, because of where they were, they too had to figure out how. How am I supposed to get past this? How am I supposed to get through this? I got this person to the left of me, this person to the right of me, this person ahead of me, behind me, telling me, oh, either you can't do it, or why are you doing it, or, slow down, or blase, or whatever. Not to mention the actual tasks themselves can be overwhelming. They can be hard, like, man, I'm working right now, but I need to make more money. I need to find something that's going to be within my schedule so I can still do what I need to do and still have availability to do what I need to do. How am I supposed to get from point A to point B? How am I supposed to get this done, that done? And it can seem overwhelming. Those valley moments can seem to last forever. It's like those moments when time seems to slow down. Like around your anguish, your despair, your frustration, your aggravation, your precipitation, even your constipation. Bruh. Everything just seems to just drag on. The next thing that you have to do in your journey to take care of something, guess what? It drags on. It can feel like days. It can feel like, oh my gosh, when is this going to end? When am I going to have time to do this, to do that, to take care of this, take care of that? Oh, I got to wait on this in order to do this, this, and this. Or I got to have money to do this, so I got to wait till I get paid or wait till I get funds. Or I'm going to have to ask someone to do this, to do this. And it can seem overwhelming. It can seem, again, like insurmountable, like, oh my gosh. So here's what I found. What do you do in those moments? What do you do in those valley moments that you find yourself in? Besides downloading this podcast, besides subscribing to the YouTube channel, The Real Cypher TV, by the way, besides hitting me up on Twitter, Ask the MC, hashtag Ask the MC. We're going to get that trending worldwide. I'm telling you, we're going to get that trending worldwide. Besides doing all that, the most effective thing that you can do is pray about it. You may have thought, well, I kind of have an idea of where he's going with this. It's the simplest thing that you can do. Trust me, I've had epiphanies when I just sat down and was still. When I just kind of was just like, don't bother me, don't talk to me, I'm just, you find a quiet space and you just kind of like just chill and just like, you know what? Leave me alone. Even if it takes a few days and you're just kind of just looking and things of that nature. Because sometimes we have to slow down in order to hear what he's telling us, hear where we need to go, hear when he's giving us those directions. And sometimes because we're moving so fast, or we're wanting things right now, it doesn't work like that. It can seem forever. It can seem like, oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? Remember, time to him is nothing as it compares to us. That's why we feel in such a rush. So I invite you to do that. Just pray. Find someone to pray with or pray for you. And you'll find out sooner rather than later that that's all you needed to do to get past those valley moments. Once again, this has been your boy, Cypher the MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And as always, before you love anyone else, you must first love yourself. And I'm out this thing, the Bronx Dawn. Cypher.
I will not lose. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors.